Welcome back to Superbly Said, Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases. Today we're taking a deep dive into some really useful, quite impactful idioms and expressions. And these all come from a fantastic SpeakDuo lesson. If you're looking to meet new people from all over, practice your English speaking on video calls, and, really build your confidence, check them out at SpeakDuo.com. But for now, let's get into some advanced vocabulary to make your English really stand out.
Yeah, it's just so important, I think, for advanced learners to get past just knowing the words. It's about mastering the nuance, how these phrases actually color the meaning. They're not just extra words, they're tools for real precision.
Absolutely. Tools for precision. I like that. Okay, let's jump straight into our first phrase. It's one that carries quite a deep feeling: to treasure someone or something. Here. So the basic meaning is to value or care deeply about something or someone.
Right, but what's really interesting about to treasure is how it goes beyond just, say, to value something for its actual worth, or even to cherish, which is admittedly very close. To treasure suggests something deeper, often much more emotional, a personal connection. It implies it's maybe irreplaceable, something you hold really dear that brings you, real joy or significance. It really highlights the act of holding it in super high regard, and often over time, not just saying, oh, that's valuable.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. It definitely adds an emotional weight, doesn't it? Like one of the examples you saw maybe for an IELTS Speaking Part 2 answer about something meaningful was, I truly treasure the memories I made during my childhood.
Yeah.
You can just feel that deep personal connection there.
Exactly.
And thinking about work, you might say, I really treasure the advice my first mentor gave me. It genuinely shaped my career. It's more than just appreciation. It's holding it close.
Precisely. It signals that something has really become a core part of your experience, maybe even your identity.
Okay, so from treasuring connections, well, sometimes we find the opposite, right? People putting up walls. Our next phrase is to be closed off. This describes someone who is emotionally distant, maybe reluctant to open up or share how they feel.
Yeah, and this one is different from just being shy or reserved. Someone who's shy might just be uncomfortable in social settings, right? And reserved can just be a personality trait, someone who's naturally quiet. But closed off, well, that implies more of a barrier, maybe deliberate, maybe unconscious, but it's an emotional barrier. Often it's like a protective thing, maybe because of something that happened in the past. It stops them from sharing those deeper, more vulnerable feelings. It's an act of reluctance, really.
Okay. That clears it up. The source example was quite stark. After the breakup, she became closed off and didn't talk to anyone for weeks. You really see that withdrawal, not just, social awkwardness. Or for that IELTS example, adapting to somewhere new. When I first started university, I felt quite closed off until I made a few friends. Captures that initial isolation, being guarded.
It's a really effective way to describe how those emotional barriers can affect how we interact, especially when forming new connections.
Right. Okay, now let's shift gears a bit. How about when we try to figure out a situation informally? Our next phrase is to suss out something, meaning to examine or investigate something to understand it better.
Yes, and the nuance here is key. To suss out isn't like a formal investigation. It's much more informal. It implies a kind of subtle, maybe intuitive assessment. You're exploring the situation, the atmosphere, maybe someone's intentions before you decide what to do. It's less about digging for hard facts and more about getting a feel for things, gathering impressions.
I find that one super useful, like the example. I like to suss out the vibe of a room before joining a conversation.
Yeah.
You're not grilling anyone, you're just sort of reading the room.
Exactly, reading the room.
Or in a work context, thinking about team meetings. In work meetings, I definitely like to suss out the group dynamic first before I offer my opinion. It's about being observant, maybe a bit strategic.
Totally. It's a great phrase for describing social intelligence, picking up on those unspoken dynamics.
Okay, moving towards trying new things. Our next phrase is to try your hand at something, which basically means to attempt something for the first time.
Yeah, and while to attempt is pretty general, and maybe to dabble suggests you're not that serious about it, to try your hand at has this specific flavor. It's about trying something new, often just as an experiment or for fun. You're not necessarily aiming to be an expert right away. There's a genuine effort. It's a first-time thing, but there's also this sense of lighthearted exploration.
That really nails the low-pressure discovery vibe.
Yeah.
The examples show it well. For a hobby, I tried my hand at pottery last weekend, and it was so relaxing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be amazing. It's the trying that matters.
Right.
Or for that IELTS answer about creative stuff, Yes, I recently tried my hand at watercolor painting. It was harder than it looks, but I enjoyed it. It perfectly gets that feeling of learning something new and having fun with it.
Absolutely. It emphasizes that joy of discovery without the pressure of needing to be brilliant immediately. Makes it a very inviting phrase.
Okay, next expression. A whiff of something. This means a slight hint or trace of something, and it's often used metaphorically.
What's quite distinctive about a whiff of is how it suggests something really faint, often fleeting, very subtle, like a faint smell you might just catch for a second. And when you use it metaphorically, it often, though not always, carries a slightly negative or maybe suspicious feeling. It implies you perceive some quality, but it's unconfirmed. It feels more elusive, maybe hinting at something compared to just a hint of or a trace of.
So it's often something you kind of sense rather than clearly see. Like the example, his speech had a whiff of arrogance that didn't sit well with the audience. You can almost feel that subtle, unpleasant quality. But it can also be about memory, like the IELTS example about nostalgia. The smell of rain on hot pavement always gives me a whiff of childhood memories. A tiny sensory cue triggers something bigger.
Precisely. It signals subtlety, often hinting at some underlying feeling or truth that isn't really out in the open.
All right, next up, a much more modern, colloquial phrase, to be a bit extra, meaning to behave in an exaggerated or over-the-top way.
Oh yeah, a bit extra is definitely contemporary. It's usually used with a kind of mild, informal criticism. You'd say it about someone who's being, unnecessarily dramatic, maybe seeking attention or just doing way more than is typical or appropriate for the situation. It often implies they're choosing to amplify things.
Yeah, it perfectly captures that feeling when someone is just doing too much. The source had a great visual. Wearing a full tuxedo to a casual dinner party was a bit extra. You instantly know what that means.
Totally.
Or describing someone's personality for IELTS. My best friend always makes a grand entrance, even for coffee dates. She's definitely a bit extra.
It's a handy, often playful way to comment on that kind of amplified social behavior.
Okay, let's look at beauty with a twist now. Eerily beautiful. A striking phrase meaning something strangely or hauntingly beautiful.
Yeah, the power of eerily beautiful is in that specific mix. It's beauty, yes, but combined with something unsettling or mysterious, maybe even a little bit frightening. It brings up that feeling of the uncanny. Something grabs you, it's captivating, but it also gives you a bit of a shiver, like something slightly off. Beauty plus unease.
It paints such a strong image. That example from the source. The abandoned mansion was eerily beautiful under the moonlight. You can almost feel the atmosphere, that slight chill. And the IELTS example about unique sights. A foggy forest at dawn was eerily beautiful. It was both creepy and calming. That mix, captivating yet unsettling, that's exactly it.
It really lets you describe those complex experiences where beauty is tangled up with mystery or a touch of fear.
Okay, nearly there. Our second to last phrase today is to outweigh the cons, meaning the positive aspects of something are more significant than the negative ones.
This one feels a bit more formal, more analytical than just saying something is worth it or has more benefits. To outweigh the cons suggests you've actually thought about it, balanced the pros and cons. It implies a considered judgment that after looking at both sides, the positives are genuinely more substantial or impactful. It hints at a decision-making process.
Definitely sounds more suited for analytical discussions, like talking about work flexibility. For me, the benefits of working remotely definitely outweigh the cons. Or reflecting on a big life choice for IELTS, studying abroad was challenging, but the experience ultimately outweighed the cons. It shows you've weighed things up.
Exactly. It's excellent for expressing well-thought-out opinions and justifying choices after considering everything.
And finally, to not sit well with someone. This idiom means something makes you feel uncomfortable or unsettled.
And again, this goes a bit deeper than just disliking something or disapproving. To not sit well with someone implies this feeling of unease, maybe disturbance. Often it's because something clashes with your sense of what's right or fair or your personal values. It's more about that emotional or moral discomfort, like an internal friction, not just simple preference.
Oh, I can think of loads of times that applies. The source example was good. The way he spoke to the waiter didn't sit well with me. It's that feeling when someone's actions just feel wrong. For the IELTS example about a difficult time, when someone took credit for my work, it felt unfair and didn't sit well with me at all. That sense of injustice, it really doesn't sit well, does it?
It's a very clear way to communicate that specific kind of internal unease or mild indignation, showing something has really bothered your sense of fairness or rightness.
Okay. Wow, we've covered a lot. Now that we've explored these fantastic phrases, let's test things out. Let's see how well they're sitting with you. Time for a quick quiz.
All right, remember to listen carefully to the options. Take a moment if you need it.
First question. What does it mean to treasure someone or something? Is it option A, to prioritize something regardless of value? Option B, to keep something hidden from others' view? Or option C, to appreciate and deeply care for something or someone? Feel free to pause the deep dive here if you need to think about the answer. Okay, the correct answer is option C, to appreciate and deeply care for something or someone.
That's the one. It's all about that profound personal significance, remember, like how you might treasure childhood memories.
Perfect. Question 2. If someone is closed off, what are they likely doing? Option A, they are refusing to speak with anyone in a room. Option B, they are emotionally guarded and avoid expressing feelings. Option C, they are physically separated from their usual environment. Go ahead and pause if you need a moment to think. And the answer is option B, they are emotionally guarded and avoid expressing feelings.
Yep, just like we talked about, someone might become closed off after a tough time, putting up that emotional barrier.
Great. Number 3, what does it mean to suss out a situation? Option A, to quickly make a judgment without any facts. Option B, to leave quietly without making a scene. Option C, to investigate or assess something before taking action. Take a second to decide or pause the deep dive. The correct answer here is option C, to investigate or assess something before taking action.
Right, it's that subtle assessment, that intuitive feel you get, like when you suss out the vibe of a room.
Exactly. Question 4, when you try your hand at something, what are you doing? Option A, you're giving something new a try to see how it goes. Option B, you're physically adjusting something using your hand. Option C, you're attempting to master something you already know. Feel free to pause here if you need to think about the answer. Okay, the correct answer is option A. You're giving something new a try to see how it goes.
Spot on. It captures that spirit of exploration, that first attempt, like when you tried your hand at pottery.
Moving on, question 5. What does the phrase a whiff of something suggest? Option A, a sudden gust of strong and overwhelming smell. Option B, a faint trace or subtle hint of a quality or feeling. Option C, a consistent and persistent emotional experience. You can pause the audio if you need a bit more time, and the correct answer is option B, a faint trace or subtle hint of a quality or feeling.
Remember we discussed how a speech might have a whiff of arrogance, that subtle, barely there hint.
Perfect. Question 6. What does it mean if someone is a bit extra? Option A, they are willing to help in unexpected situations. Option B, they're acting overly dramatic or attention-seeking. Option C, they are shy and avoid the spotlight. Pause if you're still deciding between the options.
Okay.
All right, the answer is option B, they are acting overly dramatic or attention-seeking.
Yes. Going beyond what's typical, like that tuxedo example, that's definitely a bit extra.
Question 7. What does eerily beautiful mean? Option A, it is both haunting and strangely pleasant to see. Option B, it is artistically impressive yet poorly lit. Option C, it is visually loud and aesthetically chaotic. Take a moment to consider. The correct answer is option A. It is both haunting and strangely pleasant to see.
Exactly. Think of that abandoned mansion or the foggy forest beautiful, but with that unsettling edge making it eerily beautiful.
Last question, number 8. If something doesn't sit well with you, how do you feel? Option A, you are unsure whether to like it or not. Option B, you feel neutral but unable to ignore it. Option C, you feel uncomfortable or slightly disturbed by it. Feel free to pause here if you need a final moment to think.
Okay.
Okay, the correct answer is option C. You feel uncomfortable or slightly disturbed by it.
That's right. It's that specific feeling of unease, often when something clashes with your values, like when someone takes your credit, it just doesn't sit well with you.
Fantastic. And that wraps up our deep dive into these brilliant advanced English phrases. Now, here's something interesting to think about. How might really getting these nuances down impact how you connect with people, not just in English, but maybe any language? Being able to express those exact shades of feeling.
That does raise a really important point. As you continue learning, think about how understanding these subtle differences empowers you. You can express not just what you mean, but how you feel about it, or your subtle perception of a situation. So maybe ask yourself, what whiff of new understanding are you taking away today? And how might you, try your hand at using some of these phrases more confidently?
Great questions. We really hope this deep dive into superbly said phrases will give you lots to think about and practice. And remember, these insights came straight from a SpeakDuo lesson. You can always head over to speakduo.com to connect with others, keep practicing, and build that speaking confidence. Thanks so much for joining us.